first, lawmakers are back from recess this week, and they have a massive February to-do list, Sean, before President Biden's March 1st State of the Union address, an address that critics say won't be filled with very many successes, that's for sure. First on the list, the American Competes Act. House Democrats want to pass their own version of a China competition bill this week. But House Republicans say that it should really be called the Concedes Act in that it doesn't put Americans first. Next on the list is avoiding another government shutdown. The government is set to run out of money on February 18th. But don't worry, leaders are already talking about passing another stopgap spending bill to prevent it, a.k.a. just kicking the can down the road. This has happened several times now. And then there's the Build Back Better bill. Democrats are hoping to revive the BBB and pass it before Biden's State of the Union address. But, Sean, I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a lot to actually get done by March 1st. But you notice there's one big thing missing on that list, and that's the border crisis. Yeah. President Biden and Vice President Harris hosted several of the governors at the White House today. It was the National Governors Association annual meeting. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson did ask President Biden what he plans to do about border security. And here's what President Biden said in response.
The gangs we're working on, there's a whole lot of illegal movement, but there's also a way to begin to deal with the reason they're leaving in the first place.
Which is basically a non-answer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is not an answer. The gangs, and there's a whole lot of reasons they're leaving in the first place. Part of the reason is that you're making it attractive to come here. You're letting them come. You're not holding them accountable. You're not kicking them out. You're giving them free stuff when they get here. I mean, so that's why they're coming. And I think that until we acknowledge that these policies, the policies that changed when Trump left office and Biden came in, are the root cause. That's the root cause. You're the root cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And until he acknowledges that, Americans are going to continue to get hurt. This is not an American first type of policy. And you talk about those deportations. The Department of Homeland Security has canceled a deportation request for a drunk hit-and-run killer because under the new DHS rules, the driver, listen to this, Sean, no longer qualifies as a priority. Under these rules issued in September by Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, in order to be arrested or deported, a migrant must now be a national security risk, a recent border jumper, or a public safety risk. Mayorkas also is being in the country said that illegals being here is not a sufficient reason to be deported if you're illegal. This makes no sense, Sean. So if you've come to our country illegally, it's fine. It's not a reason to be deported.
So stop and just think about this case in the first case, right? So the person came into this country illegally. Yeah. Then they killed somebody.
And then they tried to run away.
Yeah, then they tried to run away. And that's not a priority. Who is then? Who is? If you can come into this country illegally, kill a U.S. citizen, and you're not a priority of this administration for deportation, who is? What message does that send? I don't understand how. I mean, it is unbelievable what's happening here. The idea that we have laws that we're supposed to follow, and yet the signal we send to the rest of the world is, no, 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 no. Don't worry about it, because you can come here, you can kill a U.S. citizen, and we still won't get you out.
Well, and under those rules, Sean, that doesn't meet the criteria for people who are bringing drugs over our border, does not for people who are trafficking humans, and for people who have felonies who come into this country. Those people don't matter anymore. They're let off the hook. So to your point, President Biden, his open border policy is now even maximized. People say, oh, I can come there and I can commit a crime and I'll be fine. I'll be let off the hook.
Well, we've told them that they shouldn't be afraid of being deported. So that then there's no law. I mean, think about it. What other rules shouldn't you have to follow? I mean, it's like putting up a speed limit sign, but saying, don't worry, you're never going to get pulled over. Then why obey it?
Right. You never would. And I think of every other country in the world. If you enter that country illegally and you get caught, you're going to be deported. That is a normal standard. And for some reason, that doesn't make sense to the Biden administration. No. And the threat goes beyond just Mexico and the Northern Triangle countries. Last month, the numbers of illegal border crossings from Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, and India, yes, you heard me right, outnumbered those from Mexico or the Northern Triangle. More than 2,000 from Russia, 800 from India, 500 from Turkey, and 300 from Ukraine. I mean, Sean, you think about the national security crisis that this poses, or threat that this poses, that now the world knows. The secret is out now, that if you want to come into the U.S., just fly down to Mexico or one of these Northern Triangle countries, and you can just pop up to the U.S. Don't worry about it. They'll let you in. You don't even need to show a passport. passport.
Right. I mean, think about it. You just mentioned the Russians and, I mean, all of these people who we're concerned about, they're just coming in through our southern border and we're not stopping them.
Yeah.
This is a national security issue.
It is.
And it's funny because you've got these newly leaked videos where these Border Patrol agents are lashing out at Secretary Mayorkas and Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz because this administration is releasing illegal immigrants across the U.S. border. Take a look at the video and the frustration that these guys have.
For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's exactly what's happening here. Good men are doing nothing. You're allowing illegal aliens to be dropped off in communities.
You are doing something.
No, sir, we're not.
You are.
No,
You're
sir.
rescuing people every day. You're taking fentanyl off the streets every day. You're taking methamphetamine
Yes, and under this
criminal
administration
aliens
for the
off the
last
streets
year,
every
we've got the
day.
highest fentanyl death in the history of our country. In 1 year, in this country.
Wow, they are not happy campers. And you hear the chief there trying to say, yeah, but you're doing something.
Right.
I mean, you think about it, since March of last year, the border agents have encountered at least 165,000 people a month trying to come into the country, and they can't do anything. That's more than 3 times it was in 2020 alone.
The numbers are insane. It's over 5,000 people a day who are coming across our border. Those are from December numbers. And in our, Border Patrol agents, you heard there, they're taxed. The morale is low. They're working, and this administration is not giving them the help that they need. Former President Donald Trump touched on this during his rally in Texas over the weekend. Listen.
Before Joe Biden send any troops to defend a border in Eastern Europe, he should be sending troops to defend our border right here in Texas.
It's true. It's totally true. But you're not going to hear any of these issues with the Biden administration on the networks. I mean, that's the thing that's interesting about this, is that the reason you hear about it is you're listening to Newsmax, you're watching this show, because they are busy burying these disasters and failures. I mean, just think about this. Whether it's the border or Hunter Biden, right? In 1 year, from January 20th to January 20th, 2020 to 2021, ABC covered Hunter Biden for 57 seconds. CBS covered Hunter Biden for 60 seconds. NBC covered Hunter Biden for 191 seconds. And then you take the border crisis. For the entire month of December, despite all the stuff that we just talked about, ABC covered it for 17 seconds. CBS covered it for 20 seconds. And NBC, 260 seconds. In November, all 3 covered the border for 0 minutes and 0 seconds. And when it came to the botched withdrawal in Afghanistan, all 3 networks dedicated 409 minutes and 12 seconds of airtime in August, and then just 16 minutes in October. I mean, the funny thing is they cover this up. And if it wasn't for networks like Newsmax, you wouldn't even know that it's happening.
Well, the Biden administration would say it wasn't a crisis, right, Sean? So why would they cover? But to our point, it is a crisis, and it is causing huge issues, not just on our border states, as we talk about all the time, but to all of America. And it's very concerning. This administration needs to wake up.
They do.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.